Hey guys, welcome back. It is about April 20th, I think, and we are back outside. I recently, just yesterday, finished editing the video of us landscaping the garden area and have been so excited to show you guys the progress in the garden, the growth with all the veggies. This is our first garden, so we're seeing things every day that we come out here that are just incredible and we want to share with the world. So here we are, finally getting to do that after the first official month where we're showing sort of before and after. Just wanted to take you along and show you everything that's changing. It's really exciting, just like we created life, and that is incredible. So come along and we will show you what we have going on out there. Let's go. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the one that I am the most excited about, which is hands down the tomatoes. I just came out here 10 minutes ago and I noticed that we have two tiny baby tomatoes.
Point to it.
There and there.
There is a tomato.
It looks just like the little jalapeno.
That's amazing.
I bet there's more.
Which case, I don't think I have a great video of a jalapeno.
Look at this, look. There's a bunch of flowers, here's a bunch of flowers, here's a bunch of flowers.
There are gonna be so many.
Here's a bunch of flowers. Every single one of these is gonna turn into like bunches of tomatoes. This is unreal.
Well, let's go.
There. We have at least two, if not three, different varieties. I don't know which are which, but here we have a tomato plant that is already starting to have two little tiny baby green tomatoes that look like peas. I'm thrilled about that. That's so exciting. I've never seen that before. Pretty cool. All right, so this is our bed of winter squash over here and butternut squash. We just yesterday gave away two of our butternut squash plants to my sister and one of our winter squash to her. We just realized we have way more than we're gonna know what to do with than we're gonna be able to eat. And honestly, I think we overplanted this bed. I learned recently that one of these plants can take up 20 square feet of floor space in your garden, and obviously we just aren't prepared for that. So these guys are so cool. I'll show you some close-ups here. We'll cut into the close-up so you can see. But they just look like little Cinderella plants. They have little curly cues on them. They are flowering with these big yellow flowers. And the little yellow squash are starting to form into little bulbs with the flowers on the end, which is just incredible. The leaves are so pretty. This is the type of thing that I would grow just because it's beautiful. So pretty thrilled about those. The butternut squash are looking beautiful too, although we're still not seeing any flowering really yet, but it looks like there's some buds, so it could be pretty soon that we see the flowers on there.
You gonna get these guys and just talk about how many tomatoes you have?
Okay, so back to the tomatoes. Pretty crazy thing. We didn't realize I've been planting so many seeds and we're just kind of seeing what works. We've had the most luck with tomatoes. We realized, we finally counted today, we have a total of 25 tomato plants out here. Some of them are much smaller and they look more like little seedlings. Some of them are more full grown like these guys, which are the first ones we planted. But of those 25, here are a couple, here are 6. So we realized that the tomatoes were a really good thing to put in pots to give us more growing space and then save the beds for other things. I have some seeds going for rainbow carrots, beets, some garlic, and something else that I can't remember right now. But tomatoes and jalapenos we figure are pretty good for growing in pots, so we did move some out. And 25, that's so many, we can't put all those in beds. So we're thrilled about that. And then over in this bed still has some space left, and we need to figure this out. These tomato plants may end up getting transplanted into pots, but we do have another six of the tomato plants are right here. They're also doing well, but not as well as the other tomatoes. All right, so this is our, we currently have romaine, spinach, and cilantro in this bed. Something really cool about this bed is that it is the only one that we've been able to harvest from several times already. We fed our family a salad from this bed Sam and I have had multiple salads with pasta or pizza from this bed. We've basically done romaine, spinach, grapeseed oil, balsamic, salt, pepper, and Parmesan, and it's been incredible. It tastes so good. We are getting used to this, and it would be hard to go back now to store-bought boxes of lettuce. I just don't think we will. We love this, and we've talked about wanting to plant more lettuce, more greens next summer, and just plan for that because it's one of our favorite things to have out here, and it's just a great way to get greens that we otherwise would not be as interested in eating. So that's really fun. Okay, so this bed has a couple cucumbers in it. It has 3 cucumbers. I also gave my sister 3 cucumber plants that were doing really well. Again, we just don't eat that many cucumbers. We're not big pickle people. And so we're thinking that it's just more than we need. So we're gonna go ahead and just do the 3 cucumber plants for now. And then we also have a bunch of watermelon plants in here. So we have no idea how much that will produce, but we do eat a lot of watermelon, so that's pretty exciting. The cucumber plants are amazing. They are already starting to have tiny little cucumbers and flowers on there, but little cucumbers are actually starting to form with little like bumps on them. They're kind of weird looking, but hopefully I didn't send that one with my sister. If not, I'll insert a little clip so you can see what it looks like. But they're also doing great. They're definitely starting to form fruit, and they're getting to that point, which is so cool. The watermelon pretty much look normal. We're not noticing any budding or anything like that on those plants yet. One more thing about the cucumbers that's so cool, they have these giant yellow flowers, similar to the squash but just smaller. They're just really pretty to watch. It's a cool process, so that's been really fun. And then this bed right here is our bell peppers, jalapenos, we have garlic, just supermarket garlic that we pulled out of our pantry. Only 4 of those. And the jalapenos are doing amazing. This particular plant is one that my sister gave me that just needed rehabilitated. So this is not one that we planted from seed, although the others we did. But the one that she gave us has tons of white flowers on it and 2 tiny baby jalapenos. They are so cute. They're so precious. They're a lot like the baby tomatoes. They just look exactly how you would think they'd look, like a tiny jalapeno with a little like pollinating stem coming out. Check this out. That is a tiny baby jalapeno. Right there. You see it?
Yeah, I just can't focus.
Right
there.
It is. And then right there is another. And all those little flowers are slowly pollinating and turning into jalapenos as well. Oh, this one has a flower on it now. So I assume they will just continue to grow, and it's so cool, guys. We're talking about all these salsas we want to make and marinara. It's just the coolest thing to watch every day. So we're thrilled about that. We're talking about moving the jalapenos into pots, so we're very nervous about doing that with them doing so well, but hopefully we can make that jump here pretty soon. The bell peppers, we're not seeing any flowering on the bell peppers, but I'm sure it'll be here within, the next probably week or 2. So also in this bed, we have some new lavender that we got. It's not the Bandera pink lavender, which we've had for a little bit and is actually not thriving. It's just the more typical variety of lavender. It's gorgeous, it's purple, it smells really good, but it's still in the pot. I'm nervous to pull it out. We live in a very humid climate, so I don't think I will end up potting it in the ground. I'll probably pot it in a flat, like a window box with our herbs, and call it good and allow it to stay dry on the edge of the flower box. But it's just so beautiful, and it deserves to be with the herbs and to have a prime spot, which we don't know where that is. Maybe along the fence we'll put flower boxes, maybe up on our patio, but we're just realizing so quickly that we don't have as much space as we want. And we probably should have thought through all of the mulched perimeter that we have, because we kind of thought, oh, we can plant some flowers out there, and we have, and many of them have been really successful, but we did not prepare the ground for veggies to go in that area, which it occurs to me now that maybe we should have, because we would have been able to just have more space. But we also deal with flooding in our yard, and the perimeter is one area where we kind of thought that might be an issue, so that's a factor for us. But yeah, more bed space already on our first year, so we're having to pace ourselves. All right, so over here we have this rose bush that grows yellow roses. It used to be in our front yard. I've transplanted it. It's made a couple little baby rose bushes. There's one there and one there. And then there's actually a new one in the front yard that I have not brought back yet, but they're all thriving. This first little baby rose bush that came from this one, actually it used to be just one main stem and now it's two. So they're thriving. I don't know how long it will take, how many years to see the little ones produce, but I think that this one will probably produce flowers this year. So that's pretty cool. We know they're beautiful. We know they smell good. Last year we cut them and brought them inside. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
All right. These have baby beans on them.
Do they?
Yeah.
No way.
So this is 2 out of 3 of the bean plants that my dad gave me. I'm not sure what type of beans they are. You'll probably know when we show you the close-up. They have tiny little beans growing, which I'm only just noticing now, which is just the coolest thing ever. But yeah, there's like at least 2 that I can see. I will say we've been struggling with aphids with these plants. I came out, I don't know, probably a couple weeks ago, and it was just covered in black aphids. And I read that the only 2 things you can really do if you're trying to take the more natural route is you can spray neem oil on the bean plants, or you can just spray them with water and just, you know, be vigilant about keeping them off physically. So I did that, and actually there's only a few on there now. I probably, you know, I need to spray them off tomorrow when I water everything, but they appear to still be doing okay. So they haven't grown so much that they're wanting to grow on the fence, but it probably is a matter of a week or 2 before they're growing on the fence.
Just do a close-up of those beans real quick.
Also in this, down here in the mulch area, we have a couple potted herbs that are eventually going to end up in flower boxes, like I said. We have mint from a friend that is actually doing really great in the pot it's in. It is thriving like they said it would, and like everybody says, you know, mint's going to take over, so we've just kept it in that pot. We also have some rosemary that we bought because we were not successful with rosemary from seeds. I don't know if that's our climate or just our lack of experience, but my sister, who is more experienced with this stuff, has also struggled with rosemary. So the plant we have now is doing great. We've kept it very dry. We also have some red basil. My sister gave me that. I think she started it from seed. Apparently red basil or purple basil is just a more mild flavored basil. It's kind of fun and decorative. So I took a couple to try out and see what we think. We also have several healthy, thriving basil plants that we grew from seed that we have been harvesting from for pizza, pasta, salads. It's just incredible, guys, to be able to come out here and get things like that. I feel like this is a way of life that I just don't know if I see myself going back to not having this again. It's just really, really fun. And then finally right here we have the rest of our cilantro, which ultimately all of our cilantro, like I said, is going to end up in flower boxes. But some of our cilantro is currently in this pot. It is thriving. We haven't harvested it. To be honest, I don't know exactly how you harvest cilantro in such a way where it continues to grow back. I need to look into that, but we eat so much cilantro. We make tacos, Mexican food all the time. So we'll probably grow more cilantro next year. So over here in this bed, which is when you first walk in the gate, it's to your left in the mulch. We have a Bougainvillea, which I bought on my birthday as kind of like a birthday present to me. And it's gorgeous. It's hot pink. It's gonna need somewhere to grow. We don't really have a trellis set up for it yet, but I'm trying to decide where I want it. Again, I'm keeping that one relatively dry in this climate, and it appears to be doing pretty good. You'll remember from our last tour that we had these gorgeous Veranda Roses. They're the white roses. They smell unreal. They have been one of our favorite things out here, but they haven't been flowering in weeks. So I think they'll probably flower again, like twice in the year, I think, but they're not flowering right now. But the bush itself is doing great, it's healthy, and it likes its current spot. I don't really water it. I think it didn't like it when I was watering it every time I watered the veggies, so. Okay, another really cool thing. We managed to get our hands on a pot of strawberry plants, which we had really struggled to find. But we bought this pot that has multiple strawberry plants in it. It is also flowering. It's got the really pretty little white flowers that do appear to have that little yellow center that's turning into a strawberry slowly but surely. They're gorgeous. Strawberries are one of the things that we wanted in abundance. We eat so many strawberries, but we have not figured out where is the best place for them in the yard, in the garden. But we'll have to figure that out. Maybe it's a flower box, maybe we transplant some of these jalapenos into pots and we put the strawberries here. I'm not sure. Speaking of jalapenos and strawberries, I have been reading about some really cool recipes where people do strawberries and jalapenos in like salsas and like summer drinks, and so I'm very intrigued about jalapeno and strawberry combo and watermelon and mint combo. So these are, again, like we had anticipated when we started this garden that it was going to make us think about food differently and be inspired about how we're eating, and to me it already is. I know for Sam that's true as well. We've talked about, he tried this salsa recipe the other day and it was incredible, the best salsa we've ever had. And so we're learning about canning, and it's really cool. It's inspiring and it makes us want to do more, and we're loving it.
You should pick it up.
So right here is our kiwi plant. I bought this on the same day. I bought this on March 31st. It's so cool. It's so pretty the way it's vining. Apparently Arctic kiwis taste really great. They taste as sweet as a regular kiwi, which I love kiwi. I love tropical stuff so much. They do need, but they don't have the brown skin on the outside, and they do need a place to grow. So
They don't have the brown skin.
No, they don't.
What?
Yeah, they have green.
All right, so this is a question for you guys. Do you eat your kiwis with or without the skin? That might sound like a strange question, but I've always found the skin the best part of the kiwi. She thinks I'm a little crazy. What do you think?
So yeah, this is gonna need a place to grow. I got to go to Italy in late September of 2019, and the Airbnb that we stayed at on the Amalfi Coast had a very mature kiwi tree growing up like the side of the, if you're familiar with the Amalfi Coast, it's like terracing up the side of basically a cliffside in a, like you're right on the ocean. And so there was a kiwi tree growing, and it was, I mean, it was thriving. There were tons of kiwis on it, and I just thought that was so cool. And yeah, it would be really neat if this was successful here and we could get kiwis all the time. I think we'd eat them all the time. This is Sam's pride and joy, the avocado tree. It's doing great. This is one that is, we consider it to be one of the more temperamental things in our garden. More chance for messing it up just because it's kind of high maintenance. I think it's easy to fail with these, at least that's been our impression. But Sam's been doing so good, and he's been so particular about caring for it, and it is benefiting from that. So you can see right here, and we'll do a close-up, but there's a little new growth with some new leaves and what appears to be a new stem coming out of the tree. So it's doing great so far. No sign of any avocados, but it's doing really well. It is growing, and it's withstood some of the heavier wind that we've already had this year, so we're pleased with that. Next, right over here, we have another rose bush that we bought. It's little pink roses. They're the knockout rose variety. I don't know a lot else about them, but they're doing good. I do think that the flowers themselves are probably on their way out, and I think that it'll bloom again later this year, I think. But the bush itself, I think, is just getting used to its new home in the mulch here. But those also smell great, and we're excited about that new addition out here. We've been wanting to make sure that we do a solid mix of veggies, which, you know, you do in the one season and then you have to do again the next year, but also making sure that we're planting things out here that have time to grow and basically build on every year, so that we have these flowers that are, you know, as we're here year after year, they just continue to grow with us and they stay out here. So it's important to us that we're doing the annuals. Okay, so next is Sam's little banana tree pup. That's what they're called. So banana trees, if I remember right, Sam, basically they produce bananas, I think, one time, and the way that they continue to produce is the roots underneath send up new banana trees, which are called pups. And so they're little tiny babies, and they do the same thing. Obviously, the little leaves come out and unroll, and it's just so cute. This is one that we probably potted a little early. We probably should have left it in the ground longer than we did. But it is thriving. It's gonna be fine. But this is just one that we'll have going and won't produce for a while, but it's fun to have it out here and just watch it grow. And then on that same note, here is the original, the mama banana tree, which is also doing great. You can see all this new growth in the leaves. They're so soft. But yeah, it's thriving. It's also doing so good. When we first got this, you guys, it would have been last summer, and it was probably this tall when we bought it. So it's doing great.
That was the first plant in our garden, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the first plant in our garden. So these are our blueberries. I'm gonna be honest, I've been kind of neglecting these. I don't know, I'm a little bit intimidated, but they do appear to be doing fine so far. I suspect they need to be put in the ground, but I don't know where. Blueberries really like acidic soil. I was thinking about maybe putting some pine mulch on top to help with the acidity in the soil. I actually haven't tested our soil, so I don't know what we're dealing with, but I guess that would just be experimental to see how it would respond. Okay, so down here in the mulch, I recently planted 6 little sweet potato plants. We realized that sweet potatoes are something we would eat a lot of. They're very hardy, they're very substantial in terms of actually having things in your garden that are like a complete meal, or could be. So we're really excited about these. We know that sweet potato vines are really beautiful on their own, you know, apart from what they produce, so we're excited about that. Okay, and over here, you guys, this is our back wall where we're attempting to grow the jasmine. We've had some struggles with keeping the twine and string attached. It does not want to stay. We might have to go with a more solid method on the fence. I don't know what that looks like, but we want to do something real cheap. But the jasmine is thriving. The little flowers are coming out. In fact, we have one single flower that has already opened, and we both stuck our noses down there, and it smells good already. So it's not a super mature scent. You know, it doesn't smell like when you walk by a jasmine bush and it just like overwhelms you and it's gorgeous. It doesn't smell quite like that yet, but it does smell like jasmine, and we are thrilled. I don't know that either of us thought that we would get that smell the first year, but we're thrilled. We want this to be a space that in every way feels really peaceful and just beautiful to be in, and obviously the scent is something that matters to us, so the jasmine's gonna make a big difference there, and we'll set up chairs over here and get to enjoy it in the cooler months. So over here we have our purple hydrangeas, our white/pink hydrangeas, and our wisteria. So some of this is new, I think, since the last tour. I know the last tour we had the purple hydrangeas. They're not looking as good now. I don't know if that is, honestly, it could be due to a couple things. The chickens have been snacking on them, and I actually think hydrangeas are toxic to the chickens, so we're thinking about moving the hydrangeas into the back. But it also could just be the heat. There's one little hydrangea flower on there that appears to be doing well, but it could just be the time. I don't know if the blooms just die out after a bit and then get replaced. So it's a learning curve, but as far as the overall plant goes, it is still doing well. I just think it might need a new spot, so we'll probably move it. The white one, that is another one that I got on my birthday. It was really neglected at the store that we got it at, and We bought it kind of thinking we could rehabilitate it, and we have. I put a solid stake in there. It's doing okay. Again, the chickens are getting to it, so they really both just need to be moved elsewhere. And then finally, we have our Wisteria plant, which we're thrilled about, but we did realize that we accidentally bought the type of Wisteria that's known for sometimes smelling like cat pee. So that's very us to be sent home with more cat pee as if we don't have enough.
Hi.
Yes, we have enough cat pee around here.
Got enough cat.
But actually, in truth, it doesn't smell that bad. We're just hoping that as it matures, it continues to smell like a mild version of what it is. And ultimately, we're going to want to get some of the good smelling wisteria out here as well. All that said, the flowers are stunning, and the plant itself is thriving. It's growing a lot, and it'll just be gorgeous when it's up over the chicken coop. They really like shade. They prefer it, and we live in a very hot climate, so having something that is going to go wild and grow really fast is going to be great. And as long as it doesn't stink, we'll keep it there. So
new drinking game. You have to drink every single time she says thriving.
or mature.
Or mature.
Out here, this is our side yard, and this is where we have our orange tree. I think they're called Navel Oranges, and this is one of the first things that we actually got. I can't quite remember if we included them in the garden tour, but they're thriving also. Take a drink. They have little green fruit on there that is 100% bigger than when we got it. They had tiny little ones on when we got it, but we're thrilled with that. Again, we love tropical fruit. We eat it all the time, and it is nice to be able to use some of our side yard space that we get so much sun over here, and it's just not getting used. There's some really pretty crepe myrtles out here, but that's really all we have. So we're thrilled, and we'll show you guys an up close so you can see the fruit on there. So that is everything, guys. We have been so excited to show you everything and all the growth that we've had out here. We're very pleased. My dad's jealous, and he's a longtime gardener. We're gonna just believe him when he says that we're beating him and that he's impressed, and we're not going to suspect that it's just because we're beginners. But yeah, we're thrilled. We love it. It's so much fun, and we would love to hear what you have going in your garden, how it's doing, what zone you're in, what climate you're in, and what you're having luck with and what you struggle with. We're learning more and more every week that passes. We're learning what's working and what isn't working. Truly, for us, in many ways, this is the year of transplanting. We put something in the bed and we realize that's not a good place for it. It's not a good fit. We're learning what's going to need more space, what's doing well where it is, what needs more sun, what needs less sun. And so we're just kind of, again, viewing it as a learning curve, and letting ourselves move things around and just adjust as we need to. And then hopefully next year we'll have a better sense for all that stuff and get more of it right the first time around. Thanks again for coming along. We hope that you enjoyed this April garden tour. We do hope that you're liking the content and that you'll let us know if there's other things that you want to see. We like sharing it with you. It's a lot of fun to us. So like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you're doing, and we'll see you next time. Did you want to go and make a cameo? Look how big it is! Wait, say something else. Try again.
Words are complexing sometimes.
Complexing, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, check out that haircut. I gave him that haircut. Go girl. Go girl. Okay, good job.
Let me see the camera.
Hold on.
She won't let you film. She just wants to give you some love. Oh, she loves you.